Hey tubers, Bart coming at you with a mail day. I got a little bit of story with one of them here. And then I'll share something I've been working on as a little side project for the summer. Upgrade pickup here. First ballot Hall of Famer, Forrest Gregg from 1960 Tops. I had a 6. I don't know why I bought that thing. I knew it wasn't good enough at the time. It was one of those ones where I bought it relatively early on just because it was a good deal. I mean, I think it was $49 or something back when I bought it. As I was rebuilding the PC, and at the time I was thinking, I won't have to rebuild it at such high grades, but I'm not a snob, but I am a little bit in some of those grades and stuff, so it just was not going to cut it. And then when you start get closer to completion and you look at points and quality of cards and things like that, it just wasn't footing the bill. And it's just a weird thing when you look at sets, and I kind of look at other people's sets that way, even though, I can't judge because my sets look like that in certain places where it's like, this slot is filled with a $40 card and the next slot over is filled with a $3,000 card. It doesn't, sometimes that disparity looks a little weird. So I knew I needed a little bit more on that and a couple more points for the registry. So I got the Forrest Gregg. I'll mention it with another one too, but this eBay authentication, I don't know why I went through authentication because it wasn't expensive enough to do that. But the sleeves that they're putting them in are all different sizes now. Sometimes they're nice and fit and it looks good, and I never have to take it off. And this one was so loose and bad plastic, like it just the side completely opened up and I could slide it in and out of the thing, which is weird. But nice upgrade there. Shout out to Scotty, the Packers there. Here's a Rice Atomic. Not overly aesthetically pleasing with so much going on. It's got 4 guys on there, Joey Galloway and Tim Brown on the back. But the price was right and the condition looked right. And so I'll probably just sub this and see if I can make a couple bucks out of it. And it was one I had never owned as far as Rice Atomic refractors, so I did that. This isn't the first time this has happened. Bought a card. I was like, I love the design of that or whatever, and I failed to see the word jumbo in there because they have the normal ones out there. So I ended up getting this McCaffrey mosaic, whatever they call it, glass, painted glass, and it came in a jumbo, so that's not going to do me any good. Really good looking card. I'll be looking for the smaller one, but I got on that one, and that one's completely on me. And then here's my story one. Check this thing out. Terrell Owens, Atomic Refractor 98. One of just the most beautiful inserts there ever was, in my opinion. Out of 100. The pop escapes me on this one. I'm going to go with like pop 5, and it's none higher. And I had an opportunity to buy one of these through a buddy, somebody that they knew selling on Instagram, and they wanted like $600-700 for this one. And then there was a PSA 10 Steve Young. I made an offer that I wasn't even that comfortable with. I had like $1,100 on that thing just because it's a PSA 10 one of these. That investment will last a long, long time. But he wasn't willing to go that low, and I sure as heck wasn't even comfortable that high, let alone higher. So it didn't happen. But then this one got listed for a couple hundred less. Buy it now on eBay than what that person was selling their PSA 9 Owens for. So I was super excited when this popped up. And I'm not always the best at following the mail because I do make a fair number of purchases, and sometimes it just takes so long to track it because it doesn't come to you anymore, right? It goes to eBay or PSA and authentication, and they're in California, and then finally comes to you. And it said delivered on Monday, and I got a little notification. So when I left work and got in my car, pulled up my phone and said, what are the notifications that I hadn't looked at today? it said this one was delivered. So I was kind of excited. Go to the mailbox. I got one of those communal mailboxes, you know, half a block away. You just put your key in and open it up and get your stuff out. I go in there. There's nothing in there on Monday. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Well, maybe it'll show up tomorrow. Didn't happen then. Didn't happen yesterday. So this morning, it's Thursday morning. I'm off. We're traveling for the weekend. And so I was like, all right, let me take the opportunity before we jump on a plane and stuff to go run to the post office. I just got a little local post office here on base. And I went there, and they said they'll look it up and whatever. It says it was delivered in the box, but if you're saying it's not, you know. And the lady was like, but the guy's there now. And I'm like, so what? You know, this was 3 days ago. Well, you know, and she was trying to imply that it might still be in the wrong person's box, if that's a possibility. And I'm like, well, if it put it in the wrong box, why would it just still be sitting there in 3 days? It just sounded awkward to me, but I was like, okay, well, if that doesn't work out, what am I supposed to do next? And she said, you know, you go online and make the case. I was like, all right. So I drove back to my house, and again, my mailbox is only, I mean, it's literally catty corner. It's not far at all. And so I pulled up to the front of my house, and the guy, I guess, knew somebody was coming looking for him. And he kind of has to be familiar, because there's these little eBay boxes that are, you know, I don't know, 6x8 and about 3/4 of an inch deep or whatever. They end up in my mailbox a fair often. So that mailman's got to know. And so he kind of looks back at me about 30, 40 yards away and was like, Bartholomew? I'm like, yep. So I walk up, and he's like, it's in there now. What the hell you mean it's in there? Where was it magically? He didn't want to give a story. I wasn't going to ask no questions per se, but I was just looking at him like, where did that magically go, end up, whatever? That seems really sketchy, but I won't say a word if my card is in there. And he's like, is that it? And, you know, I can't tell by looking at this thing, but I was like, yeah, that's what it should look like. And I went back to my house and opened it up. I'm expecting a couple more, but I don't think they would get here that fast, so I had to check. But there it was. I don't know if the mailman was being sketchy on me, or he did say, you know, Monday was a crazy day. I don't know what that means if you're just throwing mail in other places and stuff like that. It's happened once or twice where I've gotten other people's mail. It's usually just my neighbor, you know, it's 1 digit off or something, and I just go throw it on their porch or something. But got the card in, really excited. I don't buy a whole lot of Terrell Owens cards, but there's a couple of high-end 90s things that you just can't avoid for a Hall of Famer, PC player, your team, etc. Because I have a platinum medallion of his. I have a rave of his. All of them are PSA 9s, but none hires. And so there's just, you know, an awesome trio of, at least trio. I think there's another one in there that I got a really good TO. So I'm real happy about that. But that was your story time. Glad that worked out. I just wasn't having it this time, because that'll be the second, like, real significant card that said it was delivered and wasn't. In the last couple years. It's been a while, which is decently a pretty good success rate. But that last one was a Jerry Rice signed ticket for when he broke the touchdown record. So that one still hurts, and I'm still searching for that one to ever pop up. But in the vein of, I only just showed you maybe 4 cards. I'll show you a little project, because I don't know necessarily when the next video I'll shoot is. It could be sooner, it could be later, I don't know. But since about the summer, I've been working on a little Santa PC for this time. I'm still missing the one kind of, I guess probably flagship one to complete this PC a little bit. But there's a couple others I'll keep going after, but I'm not getting held hostage per se on the prices either, because this is just a totally frivolous PC. But Santa Claus, this is the one that makes me the happiest, 1990 Pro set. This is the set that I got started on. Definitely never hit one of these. And even cooler, he's holding one of the Joe Montana cards from this set in his hand. PSA 9, just because the PSA 10s and some of these, like, they just, again, hold you hostage on the prices. I'm not playing that game. but really sharp looking card. And there is zero chance you would open a 1990 Pro Set pack right now and pull a 10 out of that thing, because it's just the chipping and everything else, it just wasn't high enough quality. So 9s you gotta be happy with there. That one's the big one for me. I don't have the 1989 Pro Set yet, which is the first Santa, but it's not as near and dear to me because I missed it that year. I didn't start collecting until the year after because I'm not quite that old, and so I'm waiting for that price to be the right one as opposed to paying for the cost of the currently. And then the other ones I'm picking up are just like your 92s through 95s-ish Santa cards. This one's from 95 NFL Properties. Here's one, this is sweet, from 93 Action Packed. So it's got the texture and the thickness to it. Here's a Parkhurst hockey one. Got this at a good price. So this is a PSA 10 one of the rare PSA 10s out there. Or in here, I should say. There's a fair number of 10s of these. 1994 NFL Properties. That one's a kind of a 3D hologram thing there. PSA 9. I got 93 NFL Properties. Santa rocking a Chiefs uni. That's another PSA 9. This one was super low pop. I think it's pop 3, one higher in an 8. But I'm not a fan of picking up 8s by any means. But 1994 NFL Properties. Santa. That one came out of playoff. Sorry, I wasn't reading those before. Yeah, this one was Upper Deck. This one was Pinnacle Sport Flicks. I was reading the top ones there. And then this last one came out of Collector's Edge from 94. Well, that's the last graded one. I did get one raw one just because I couldn't find any graded versions, and the pop report was, whatever I looked it up, was crazy small. So I picked up this one raw one. As far as I'm aware, it came out of 94 Stadium Club. It says Topps all over it, but I collected a lot of 94 Stadium Club, and this is exactly how the backs looked. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I believe I'm correct on that one. But that's my little side Santa PC. So that's what I got for you today, but very excited that this actually showed up. This is another one. I mentioned it with the Forrest Gregg, but the sleeve is just so loose and everything like that. It won't display well or whatever, so at some point I'll have to put that in a fresh sleeve, which is unfortunate because I like keeping that seal and stuff like that. It's kind of a cool look, and it just protects it, but man, look at that sparkle. Crazy stuff. Enjoy your holidays. We'll see if I make another video, but we'll all be sitting around a little bit more, spending more time with family, of course. But for those that are wondering if they should make content in the near future, go ahead and make it, because plenty of us will have a little bit of extra time, a couple extra minutes to watch some videos and share the hobby with others. So, or receive the hobby if you're making content. So go out and do it. Later.